My name is Katie Marie Bruce, and my artistic practice is very much engaged with elements of our everyday that are overlooked. Things that maybe don't quite break through the threshold of attention, whether that be an unwanted emotional response, the tenderness of a callus, or a surface that sees a lot of wear and not a lot of upkeep. We don't really notice them until they cause a disruption in our day. I find that I am drawn to these starting points as a way to expand around discomfort, as a place of exploration rather than one that should be avoided. I like the textures inherent to discomfort, even when it is, well, uncomfortable. My work has been shaped by the nature of printmaking, in traditional and expanded approaches, and its ability to make multiple impressions or images from an altered surface. It is often very labor-intensive, and I find that labor to be a meditative and generative space to exist within. In my current practice, I work with copperplate etching a lot, rich in technical and poetic processes, as well as intricate, smaller-scale bronze work. The diptych that was donated as part of the auction was also part of the SAAG Centennial celebration. 2 prints of the same text, folded differently to reference the 2 architectural styles prominent in the current SAAG location. When I was doing research about the history of the Southern Alberta Art Gallery, there were a lot of informal stories that started to grab my attention. Around that same realization, I thought about the various experiences that I had had with the SAAG and opted to write a letter, printed so that it couldn't be read. It ended up being about the history of the building at 601 3rd Avenue South, the identity shifts it has experienced over the years, and questions about where it will go next. The diptych, Perhaps a Library is a Gallery is a Library, relays my relationship with the SAAG alongside the broader cultural imprint it has made in this community, but leans on the form of a folded letter to keep what has been written exclusively for the intended audiences. My first experiences with the SAAG were as an undergraduate student, visiting exhibition openings and partaking in guided tours and artist talks. At the time, there weren't as many other places in Lethbridge to see art, and being able to sit in an Art Now talk and get to hear about the underlying motivations of the work from the person who made it. In retrospect, I took for granted the kind of access to local, national, and international artists that the SAAG provided. At the tail end of my master's degree at York University, I was contacted about participating in a group show featuring emerging Alberta artists called This Is Water: Emerging Practices in Contemporary Art, curated by Christina Cuthbertson. It was a really unique opportunity to put forth work that was not dictated by a theme, but rather by a direction that each artist saw their practice going in. At the time, I was making print-adjacent work, which used disheveled handkerchiefs as a way of thinking about the unspoken nature of queer grief, and got to include a series of these printish pieces in the exhibition. These folded works went on to inform several other bodies of work, including a solo exhibition of dry point printed and folded letters presented at CASA in 2019, as well as the prints made for the Centennial publication, which mimic the same unfolded size of the kerchief pieces. Christina was very supportive of this new exploration during a time when it felt incredibly vulnerable to take a more personal approach to my practice and the work that I was making. I remain very thankful for the conversations and the role they played in my postgraduate school trajectory.